Hey, checking in because, you can never have enough stuff going on Miss Mcknz by Anthony Trollope, the first two chapters of this 1865 novel by Anthony Trollope. Um, it is centers around Miss Mcknz, who um, hilariously with Trollope at the beginning of his book is like, well, first I have to tell you about kind of the stuff around and behind Miss Mcknz, and it's going to be boring, but I'll try and keep it short. It's like, what other novelist, um, what novelist of modern day would say, "Hi, this is the boring part at the beginning, but I'll try and keep it short." So he tells of Miss Mckenz's family, the older Mr. Mcknz, who's gone into government as kind of sounds like a clerk or something, and has worked his way through and has indeed died at, doing the in the same building, government building, working. He's had two sons, one who kind of scandalized the family by going into the trades. Um, he says, "Oh, I'm not a tradesman because I sell to tradesmen. I sell bulk to tradesmen who then sell it to people. So I'm not tradesman, but the rest of the family is not buying that." And yes, so then there is the elder brother, and there's Margaret, both of whom don't really have, um, because they're respectable, don't actually have a profession. The brother doesn't have a profession. Well, I guess he's probably also government like that, but he's a bit of an invalid. And what happens with Margaret is Margaret, um, is in school, not particularly remarkable, gets pulled out of school to nurse her older dying father, nurses him, and then the older brother is also the eldest brother is also a bit of an invalid, so she nurses him, and there's a friend of the family, Harry Humboldt or something like that, who starts to woo her, but the older brother doesn't like that, so Harry stops that and just becomes friends. And indeed, he's just sort of friends with the brother, and that's it. But as she is, Margaret is kind of nearing into her 30s, so is for all intents purposes a old maid, dead widow. Give up your life and get ready to just jump in the grave. Her brother dies. Her eldest brother dies, and he doesn't leave even a portion of the money to his younger brother who's gone into trades. He leaves it all to Margaret. And Harry goes, "Oh, well, would you like to get married?" Kind of, start the wooing again, but she's like, "No, no, I'm not gonna do that." And the other brother is like kind of grudgingly invites her to, move into their family. His wife is got no interest in this whatsoever. She's like, no, no. And what she determines is, we get what is probably the first kind of detail about her that's like, is that she's been writing poetry and kind of love letters and journaling, and she's got notions that she'd like to actually find love, find excitement and enjoyment in the world after having spent basically most of her adult life as a nursemaid. And she recognizes that, yeah, that her Harry was looking for basically a nurse, a kind of a mother figure, someone to who he'd just take her money and just kind of she'd be kind of the staid woman, and that her brother was basically seeing the same thing of, inviting him into the family, and kind of she'd become like kind of nursemaid to the kids there. It's like she's not interested in that, and she's got the money and the means. So what she determines to do is to move to Little Bath, a little town, because got prescribed by a doctor as like a place where you kind of go for good health. It sounds like it's modeled on actual Bath, where people go for the waters, and it's like, where people about, London would go off season and stuff like that. And she takes a niece, one of the nieces of one of the daughters of the younger brother with her. It says, like, I'll take her education. She's got kind of a good kind of just straight plan of, like, I'll take over her education and her raising and stuff like that. And, if I don't get married, there's a chance that she would get, but I am thinking about getting married, so just warning you there. But there should be about like £500 of kind of a legacy for her regardless. And brother agrees to this because, if you're a Victorian woman, you need to have an escort. You have to have a companion with you to kind of navigate society. So yeah, she gets her. And they move to Bath, and she gets recommended to a doctor. And the doctor's like, oh well, you're unfortunately you're of good health, but it's always good to have good. You're a wealthy lady, and you probably want to see a doctor every once in a while, so that's good. Um, and she's also interested in this evangelical fellow, Stumble, who apparently is kind of one of these fighter of vices and stuff like that. But she's also sort of interested in vices as well. There's this assembly hall where there might be interesting, fun stuff to do. And the doctor's like, I don't think you can do both, or says that to his wife. He's like, I don't think she can particularly do both. And, you know, so that's sort of the setup. That's the setup of Mss Mcknz. We'll have to see how it goes. Trollope is good at kind of sinking into these characters and exploring them. I like that she's been writing love letters and poetry and things like that. That she has a bit of spark in her, because there's a lot of the opening bit of this book that, especially her brothers and the father, all and and the brother's wife, all seem like, oh God, these are just kind of dreary, grindy people. But okay, maybe she's actually got a bit of a spark to her, and we'll have a bit of an adventure in Little Bath, and mischief will ensue, which we can only hope within a Trollope novel. So yeah, that's me checking in for the first little bit of Trollope. This is probably going to take me a while to get through, because I'm also going to try and get through at least a couple of Shakespeare plays, and also I'd like to finish Call Me by Your Name, for it's completely lost from my mind. I actually need to go back and review stuff on that. But yeah, so that is the first little bit of Mss Mcknz by Anthony Trollope. And I will check back in when I get some more on that. More videos later.